So we do have a small issue, guys. If we're gonna run this dump pipe like this, which is the only way we really can run it, we can't have the filter here. So unfortunately, it's either dump pipe or filter. Another day and we're back at it again. So for today's episode, we're gonna have to slightly rotate the turbo so we can get this fitting in. There's no real good way to do it. So I'm just gonna have to find a better position to set the turbo and get this fitting on at the same time without this bolt interfering. I think we're good. I managed to slightly turn the turbo just enough so I can get that bolt out of the way and tighten the fitting and then tighten the bolt. It's super tight, but it worked and everything is secured. Now we're gonna get the oil pan installed with the new gasket. Everything's cleaned up. I also cleaned the mating surface on the bottom of the engine. Should be good to go with no issues. The gasket's on and it sits beautifully. Nice and flush, no sealant. Let's get it on the engine. You know, being under this car is starting to become therapeutic. Being under this car is starting to become a common thing. Maybe we'll do some new segments. Late night undercar sessions with your host, Travis. Maybe not. The nice thing about this is that the weather in Arizona is so nice now. It's end of September, beginning of October. We're finally starting to get down to the 90s and it's really nice. The oil pan is on and we are looking good. Now let's get the oil return line set up and get it fully attached. And just like that, the return line is on. Sorry I couldn't show you guys the struggle. It was a really tight fit. And it looks like the fitting was not welded exactly where I wanted it, but it's all good. Made it work. I think the line was cut perfectly and I made it work in the position it was, so I'm all cool with it. It's fitted properly and in one direction. I just spent 10 years tightening all these clamps. If you guys have a bigger budget than $5K to do this build, I highly recommend getting new clamps. These clamps are terrible. And honestly, I don't think they're gonna seal that well. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, like top 5 things, new clamps. There's one thing I've come to realize doing this turbo kit. The instructions said you can't have AC and you can't have power steering. And I'm like, what do you mean? Plenty of room for power steering. No. How the hell am I gonna fit this thing in there? I just realized that there's no way you could fit this in while having the power steering. So I'm gonna see if we could do anything about that because we are not losing power steering. Don't ask me how I did it, just know it's been done. I had to remove this, essentially move the power steering pump all the way up out of the way, and then had to finagle this on. It came with these little rubber adapters. You had to remove a couple of them just so we could fit it onto the turbo. But yeah, it ain't 100% perfectly straight, and I think that's because it's hitting these lines, so I might try and get these out of the way, maybe route them somewhere else. We'll see, but for now I'm gonna leave it like that before we get it all secured. But it looks like it might just work. Now this, I'm not 100% certain. I've been doing some research and I understand how the wastegate works. It's just pretty much like a bypass valve, so you don't overboost. Let's see. That. We got some fittings here, and this looks like mounting bolts. Let's see, and this is, not certain what that is, but we do have a spring here. I'm assuming there's a spring in here already. I'll have to figure it out. I'm not really certain, but let's get it all taken apart and let's see what we're working with. All right, so we got the top removed and it looks like this was the 5 PSI spring that was pre-mounted in there. And this one is the 10 PSI spring. Figured that out because they said the 10 PSI was longer than the 5 PSI and there's a clear difference. They also said we could combine it to make 15 PSI, but I think we're gonna start with the 10 PSI because that's essentially I wanted to make 8 to 10. So since we have a 5 and a 10 spring, we're gonna go with the 10, and we'll leave the 5 out for now, just as a base to see where we get. I will say getting the spring in takes a lot of strength. A little difficult to do by yourself, but I mean, if you could push against the ground, put your body weight on it and grab it from here and get it twisted, not too bad. Got the 10 PSI spring installed, and let's go get it onto the manifold. So aside from the wastegate, it looks like we have some sort of seal gasket. I'm assuming it sits here because it looks like it sits there, and it fits pretty well there, so I'm gonna put it there. It just makes sense. And then these spacers. I think I've seen people use these for the downpipe. And then of course we have our gaskets. So before I get this all installed, I'm just gonna secure the power steering, get the belt on, get all these bolts tightened, and make sure this is in a good position. And then we'll get this installed and see where we could fit everything. Just in case you guys were wondering, because I was getting confused as well, I didn't really remember which belt went in which section. The inside one is the alternator belt. This one is for the AC, which we no longer have. And then this one is for the power steering. All right, so the belts are on. Got the alternator one right there, and then the outside one is the power steering. Now we're gonna get the wastegate set up and see exactly where this dump pipe sits. Just so you guys know, the wastegate, or at least with this kit, comes with 4 ports, 4 holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top. So we're gonna use the top for a boost gauge, and the bottom is gonna be for our vacuum. So we're gonna plug these 2 holes right now because we don't really have a use for these 2. The kit does come with everything you need to 2 plugs and 2 ports. And if you don't have a boost gauge, or you just want to use 1 port for the vacuum, you can always put like a rubber cap on one of the ports. All right, looking good. We got the 2 ports right here, and the gasket is set. It's nice and tight. Now let's get this dump pipe lined up. So we do have a small issue, guys. If we're gonna run this dump pipe like this, which is the only way we really can run it, we can't have the filter here. So unfortunately, it's either dump pipe or filter. I'm gonna see if I can figure out a way to get around this, but I'm not seeing any real way for me to be able to use this dump pipe to shoot down rather than up like this, which I guess you can do, but I'm not gonna cut a hole in the hood just to do this. I want this to be a car that you can drive and look kind of like sleeperish, but yeah. So we're gonna remove the filter for now and get the dump pipe on. So this is the quick mock-up. Plenty of space without the filter, but the dump pipe is literally directly in the way of where the turbo sucks in air. Not really a good design, but for us to make it work, we gotta run it like this for now. The last thing we were gonna do today was install the downpipe, this lovely, lovely piece of metal. But I ran into another issue. It's just never ending with this kit. This is a bit ridiculous, but the bolts that it comes with to secure the downpipe are far, far too long. I'll show you guys in a minute as I get this one threaded. So as you can see, threading it in, and I've done this on like 3 different holes, so I know it's not just a hole. But yeah, that's where it tightens up, right there. Then the downpipe takes up maybe about this much. So then all this, like what the hell? I literally have to cut the bolt in half to make this work. So we're gonna have to modify these bolts. Definitely at least half of it gone, maybe even a little more, but we're gonna do half. I think half should be good enough because you don't wanna cut too much off and then not have enough threads to secure it properly. So that's probably gonna be done on the next episode. I think for now we're done. Got a lot of stuff I want to do next episode. I want to paint the valve cover. I want to get the valve cover sealed and back on. I want to do the spark plugs. I want to do the wires. I want to get pretty much the spark side of the engine completed since the fuel side is done. Hopefully we can get that done. Maybe even get the throttle body on and get all that set up. The build's coming along pretty well. We're getting near there, but I feel the closer we get to the end, the more issues we're running into. So pretty good. I'm learning a lot. A little frustrating, but hey, that's car building for you, right? I'd like to say we're close to the end, but realistically, we still got quite a ways to go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.